Hello, everyone. It's me again. I have a new concept to try to teach you. Don't forget, this is just a little exposure to it. In Spanish 3, we will definitely work with this more. I sent you a Quizlet last week with all the reflexive verbs that we're going to be covering. I summarized them on this page, and I will also post a picture of my notes. It shows you how many verbs we have, 22. I think on Quizlet we have 23 or 24. I'm focusing on 22. Highlighted, stem changers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stem changers. Despertarse, it's an E to the IE, right there. We also have acostarse, O to the UE. We already know dormirse is a stem changer. We're just using dormirse in a reflexive verb. So it doesn't mean to sleep anymore. When you make the verb reflexive, it means to fall asleep. We have vestirse, E to the I. And notice I underlined the letter that it's supposed to be stem changed. Then we have the verb perderse, which is now a reflexive verb. It does not mean to lose anymore. It means to get lost. And you already know this, that perder, it's an E to the IE. And so perderse is still E to the IE. We make the verb ir reflexive. And we also make the verb ver reflexive. To see oneself, to dismiss oneself. So we have despertarse, levantarse, lavarse, bañarse, acostarse, cepillarse, peinarse, maquillarse, dormirse, vestirse, afeitarse, ponerse, quitarse, secarse, cortarse, pintarse, llamarse, perderse, arreglarse, irse, verse, and ducharse. Yes, all of these verbs are new to you. And all of them end in se. So I'm going to explain to you what a reflexive verb is and how to conjugate it, okay? Since all of them have se at the end, we need to know how to conjugate them, okay? Don't worry, I will be posting a picture of this too at the end, okay? All right, so a reflexive verb are all those verbs that you would do to yourself. For example, look, you wake yourself up. You get yourself up. You're shaving your own face. You're brushing your own teeth. You're washing your own hair. You're washing your own face. You're fixing your own hair. You're combing your own hair. You're brushing your own hair. You're putting on makeup yourself, and then you're getting yourself dressed, or you're putting the shirt on yourself. So that's what makes a reflexive verb. Not all the verbs can be reflexive. We have a big selection of reflexive verbs. You have not done this before. This is the first time that you will be exposed to reflexive verbs, okay? So it says a short definition of what a reflexive verb is. It's a verb. I'm trying to record myself and write at the same time. It's going to be challenging. It's the verb where the person doing the action and the person receiving the action is the same. So the person doing and the person receiving the action is the same. For example, the verb to talk, we never learned that you talk yourself. It could be you could talk to yourself, but you have not learned it that way. So that means when you use the verb hablar, you never learned that the verb hablar could be hablarse. That's not an option. You also learned that the verb to drink, which is beber, we never told you that beber could be reflexive, that you could drink yourself. That's impossible. So hablar, beber, caminar, bailar, those are not reflexive verbs. We have just conjugated them like nothing. So at this point, you only have those that are considered reflexives. We tell you which ones are reflexives. So I'm telling you, those 22 verbs that we have, those are the reflexive verbs that we have. What does the reflexive verb look like? We have done the verb lavar. So now what we're doing with the verb lavar, we did lavar el coche, lavar la ropa, lavar los platos, which was not a reflexive verb. Now we're learning that lavar can be reflexive. Lavarse. So we're adding se at the end of the verb lavar. Now it means to wash oneself, to wash your own hands, to wash your own face, to wash your hair. And if you look on the vocabulary page for the verb lavarse, which is right here, I put all the different things that you can be washing yourself. The hair, the face, the hands. So pay attention to those extra vocabulary words. You can brush your own hair, you can brush your teeth. To cut oneself, you can cut your own hair, you can cut your own nails. The verb to paint. I know it sounds funny, but to paint hair, yeah. In Spanish, we use that instead of saying to dye your own hair, you paint your own hair. You paint your own nails. You can also paint your lips. So pay attention to the extra vocabulary. It will give you a better explanation of how to use the verbs, okay? Can all the verbs be reflexive? No. No. You're not to put a se at the end of every verb now. That you're like, oh, all the verbs should have se at the end. No, you would be incorrect. Because not all the verbs can be done for oneself or to oneself. If this is still confusing, get on YouTube and just find some other videos that tells you what a reflexive verb is if you're still a little bit confused, okay? This is just a good introduction, and I don't think you will be an expert about reflexive verbs, but at least it will give you an idea. All right, we're ready to conjugate. Here we go. So we have the verb ducharse, which on the list of vocabulary verbs, it means to take a shower, if you did your work from last week. So we have this little extra piece to the verb, to this AR verb. It's still an AR verb. Still an IR verb. And it's still an ER verb. That will never change. We just need to know what to do with this little reflexive pronoun at the end. So for you to take care of that, say at the end of all the verbs, we use what we call a reflexive pronoun. And we have one for each person. So the first thing you have to do is take care of that say by using a reflexive pronoun. If it's in the yo form, we use me, te, se, nos, os, se. Yes, the bottom two are the same. Me, te, se, nos, os, se. Very good. You do that first. You take care of that first by using those. So let's get ready to conjugate. The first thing we have to do is start the conjugation with these reflexive pronouns. So we start with me, te, se, nos, os, se. I did this. What I have left, it's an AR verb. I already know how to conjugate AR verbs. So the yo form is me ducho. 2 words. Yo me ducho. I shower or I take a shower. I give myself a shower. I shower myself. Whatever way you want to say it. You don't need yo. If you do want yo, there you go. Some of you want to see what it would look like. Yo me ducho. You cannot separate the me from the ducho. You cannot put anything in between them. If you want to say, no, I don't shower. So you would say, yo no would go right here. Yo no me ducho. Nothing between the me and the ducho. Nothing between your reflexive pronoun and your verb conjugation. Tú, te. Now it's an AR verb, don't forget. Duchas. If you want to have tú, it's fine. You don't need it. You shower. Él, ella, en usted se ducha. Nosotros, nos. Don't forget, this is 2 words, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Nosotros nos duchamos. Vosotros os ducháis. Y ellos se duchan. I shower. You shower. He, she showers. We shower. You'll shower. They shower. This is using the verb ducharse. Don't forget, métese, nos o se first. All right, now we have the verb vestirse. And if I remember my notes correctly, vestirse is a stem changer. It's an E to the I. So don't forget, if you are using stem changers, that means we have to respect the boot. There you go. Here's my boot. Everything inside the boot, it's supposed to be stem changed. The first thing you have to do is take care of your reflexive pronoun right here. Do something about this. A lot of you will try to attach something to it. I know you will. Right, get rid of that first. So here we go. Me, te, se, nos. We're going to start skipping vosotros and se. What would it mean if I don't have that? Me, te, se, nos, o se. You would be saying something like, I brush teeth. It's like, oh, be careful. I brush teeth. I fix hair. I shave. I cut. I paint. I call. So you don't want to say just I cut, I call, I lose. You want to say myself. I call myself. I paint myself. I cut myself. I put on myself. So this right here is telling you that it's for oneself. So we do need it, unfortunately. All right, stem changer, E to the I. So now we have V, I, S, T, O. Me visto. I get dressed. You get dressed. Te, stem changer, E to the I. Te vistes. It's an I verb. Don't forget. O, as, a, hemos, eis, en. O, es, e, imos, is, en. O, es, e, hemos, eis, en. He gets dressed. Se viste. Stem changer of an I verb. Nos vestimos. Do not stem change outside the boots. And they get dressed. Se visten. So once again, when I post the picture of my vocabulary page, 5 stem changers on there. Don't forget. I get dressed. You get yourself dressed. He gets himself dressed. We get ourselves dressed. They get themselves dressed. Now we have the verb poner. I'm about to stop, guys. Don't worry. So we have the verb ponerse. Poner, to put or to place. You make it reflexive. It's to put on. You put something on you. That's why it's reflexive. Don't forget, we have to take care of the reflexive pronoun first. I'm skipping vosotros and se. It's gone. Now we have poner. And if you remember correctly, when we did go verbs, poner, it's a go verb. If you forgot that already, you will be in trouble. So the yo form of poner is pongo. I put myself on. It's only the yo form, go verb, yo form only. Te pones. Se pone. Nos ponemos. And se ponen. I put on, you put on, he puts on, we put on, they put on. Okay? Me pongo, te pones, se pone, nos ponemos, os ponéis, se ponen. All right. Let's look at some examples right here. Paquita, what is Paquita doing? You could say Paquita combs her hair, fixes her hair, brushes her hair. I could say all three. Here. Paquita, that would be a she conjugation. Paquita, look at her hands. Something to herself. She's fixing her own hair. She doesn't fix hair. She fixes her own hair. Paquita, don't forget, reflexive pronoun first. Se combs, se peina el pelo, combs her hair. We don't need her. you do in English, we don't. We already know it's her own hair. We don't need combs her own hair of hers. We don't need to repeat it. Okay, so this would be combs her hair. What about brushes her hair? Paquita. It would help if you know your verbs. Cepilla el pelo. Paquita brushes her hair. I know it's her hair because it's reflexive. I want to say Paquita fixes her hair. It would help if you know your verbs. Paquita se arregla el pelo. There you go. Paquita combs her hair. Paquita brushes her hair. Paquita fixes her hair. In English, you do need the word her hair. Otherwise, it could be someone else's hair, but it's her own hair. I know it's her own hair because I'm using the reflexive pronoun. It reflects back to her. Right. Raúl brushes, I skipped number 2. Raúl brushes his hair. His teeth. Se cepilla, that's brushes, his teeth. Once again, vocab page. You will find face, teeth, lips, face, nails, all of those things. Se cepilla los dientes. Let's do one more. I want to pick one. Ooh, look at this one. Gets up at 6:30. Rafaelito. Gets up, which is to lift yourself up, which is levantarse. Rafaelito gets up, se levanta at 6:30 a las 6:30. Frida paints her nails. Amelia paints her lips. We can do Amelia paints her lips. Amelia paints, which is pintarse. Se pinta. I'm conjugating an air verb. Her lips. Los labios. Don't forget, I don't want sus labios. We already know whose lips is she painting? Her own lips. Reflection. It's a reflexive verb. Reflects back to her. You might see pictures. You might see the verb given to you in the sentence. So we have you to take a shower at 9 at night every day. Let's conjugate reflexive. Dute. You start with te. And then conjugate duchar. They wash themselves. What do they wash themselves? Their own hands. So they wash their own hands. Their own hands before eating. Vestirse, stem changer. Number 3, don't forget. I get dressed with comfortable clothing. So I get dressed. Yo me, stem changer, visto. Right here, E to the I. We go to bed after doing our homework. This one is supposed to be a stem changer, but it's outside the boot. It's in the nosotros form. Nos acostamos. We go to bed after doing our homework. My friends never to wake up early on the weekends. So my friends never wake up. This would be a they conjugation. Me, te, se, nos, o, se. So that would be a se. It's in the they. Stem changer. How do I know if it's a stem changer? This is so confusing. I'm telling you right here, look. That one. The one we're working with right now, it's the first one. Despertarse. It's an E to the IE, to wake up. So I think you will need my vocabulary page. Okay. So my friends never wake up early on the weekends. Nunca se... This stem changer, E to the IE, right here. Which one? It's the second one. It's always the second one. Don't forget the R. Don't forget the T. In the original spelling, you already did this. That one is gone. And then it's a they conjugation of an AR verb. Se despiertan temprano los fines de semana. Alicia puts on a coat, boots, and gloves. That's number 6. Conjugate ponerse in the Alicia form. Take care of this first. Se. All right, now we have poner. You drop ER. I hope you remember how to conjugate verbs. There you go. Puts on a coat. Tanya and I fix our hair at the beauty salon. So this would be a we conjugation. Now we have the verb arreglar, which you already know means to fix. But this is fix ourselves. Nos conjugate arreglar in the we form. AMOS. Nos arreglamos. I don't put on deodorant. Yeah, I do. Yo no me. I took care of that first. Now we have poner in the yo form. Pongo. I'll just do 10 of these, guys. Alicia to shower before going to work. Let's take care of this. Se, and then it's an AR verb. Okay. You brush your own teeth after eating your breakfast. Conjugate cepillarse in the tu form. Te. Then we have an AR verb. Te cepillas. All right. I hope this helps. It's going to be challenging if you don't know your verbs. However, you can always use your notes. We'll definitely review this in Spanish 3, and I know you guys will have a lot of questions about this, but if you remember me, te, se, nos, o, se, that would be very helpful. And it would also be very helpful if you know the meaning of the verbs, because we have more reflexive verbs to go through in Spanish 3. One more video next week, and that would be the end, you guys. I hope you're doing great. I really miss you, and I hope to see a lot of your work, a lot of your practice to make sure that I answer all your doubts and all your mistakes, okay? Here you have them. Have a great time with reflexive verbs. They are not my favorite. Adios, chicos.